Okay, so hi, I'm going to do a salmon biryani. This is a very simple biryani. If you don't want to do salmon, you can do ikan kurau, ikan merah, any of those fishes with without bones. Okay, or you can use chicken breast, not with the bone, but just chicken breast, boneless. So to do that, there's two steps. One to do the rice, one to do the biryani, and then later we'll put it all together. To do a biryani, we first need something that's very aromatic. So I have cinnamon sticks, cardamoms, buah pelaga, and then buah cingkeh. Right? So the cinnamon stick that I have here, very important. It's a Sri Lankan one. So Sri Lankan cinnamon is always more fragrant. You can get it from some markets. And then I have dried daun salam. This daun salam is more like an Indian daun salam. It's always used dried so that it's more aromatic. And chili hijau, green chili. The green chili, you take a knife, you cut here just to open it up a little bit. And very important thing for this dish, right? You can either use ghee, very little, like 1 tablespoon, or you can have just ordinary cooking oil, like canola oil or sunflower oil. Do not use vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is actually quite high in fats that your body shouldn't get. So what I'm going to do is heat the ghee or oil and then add in the cinnamon, cardamom, cloves and bay leaves and fry this. You fry this until the thing letup, right? That's just, you call it meletup, correct? So it has to open up until it's very nice. Add in the onion, the green chilies and fry that as well. Now the green chili is for fragrance and also to eat it like a vegetable in the rice. Now what I have here is basmati rice. So the basmati rice is long grain rice, so I wash it very carefully, soak it for 20 minutes and then drain the water. And I have ginger and garlic paste, so like half. So if you want to grind it, right, so it's 50% garlic, 50% ginger. So if you got 50 gram ginger, then it has to be 50 gram of garlic. So I'm going to add that to the oil or ghee. Fry this. Add in the rice and stir the rice. Now I'm stirring this rice so that the rice is coated with the ghee or oil. Then the rice will be fluffy and nice. What I have here now is yogurt, 100 gram. Just mix it, put it in. Salt. And stock. So you can use chicken stock, fish stock or just use water. So I'm using fish stock. So everything's inside, so I put it on medium, cannot be very high fire, medium fire, and then we will cover it and let the rice cook. So while the rice is cooking, I'm going to cook the fish. Okay, so I call this a salmon masala because you can cook it with the biryani or you eat it just with your white rice like a curry. Okay, so to do that, I have 500 grams of salmon cut into cubes. Okay, so if you want to have big pieces, it's alright, but if you cube it, it looks and tastes better when you cook it. Then we have some fennel seeds or jintan manis, onion, about 2 onions. This 2 onions looks like a lot to you, but actually the onions add value to the cuisine because in Indian cuisine, we do not add sugar to sweeten the dish. We do not use any kind of MSG or anything. Our sweetness comes from the tomatoes and the onion because when we fry it, it becomes sweeter. The sugar from it comes, caramelizes, so it makes the dish naturally sweet and nice. We must try to avoid any kind of added tasting powder. Okay, so onion, then we have meat curry powder. You can buy any brand of your choice, just go to the supermarket and choose whatever you want. Tomatoes are diced but without the seeds. I took out all the seeds because these tomatoes got too much seeds, and too much seeds in a curry actually makes it a bit bitter. So the seeds are already taken out. And we have some chopped coriander leaves and mint leaves, so daun ketumbar and pudina leaves. So that's about it. So we're going to start cooking. So again, we need to either use ghee or use oil. The reason why I'm using ghee is because I just want to take out the ghee. You can take out the oil and just use the same as well. And you can use minimum oil because the salmon is an oily fish. So when you cook it, it releases some natural salmon oil which is high in omega and which is very good for your brain. That's why we should try to include salmon in our diet always. So now I'm using a non-stick pan. It's not necessary, but I'm also using the non-stick pan to show you and to tell you that the importance of looking after a non-stick pan. I usually don't use non-stick pan, but in a class I like to share because a lot of people buy a non-stick pan and they use a metal spoon to scrape the food and everything, and there'll be a lot of lines. Now once there are lines, the lines underneath it, there's some poisonous chemical which will go into your food and slowly it will actually affect your brain. So try not to use non-metal scoops or ladles to take your food. Try not to use spoons in a non-stick pan. When you buy a non-stick pan, the vendor will write there, do not scratch. Why does he worry whether you scratch or not, right? He's telling you because he doesn't want you to poison yourself. So be careful when using non-stick pan. So once the ghee or oil is hot, I add in the fennel, let it sizzle. So you can, actually this room has got a lot of nice aroma here. Fry this. Add in the onions. Fry this as well. Okay, so you can see that the onions have browned lightly. So I'm going to add in the tomatoes. So now we are cooking, we have to cook the tomatoes until the tomatoes become soft. So in Indian cooking, right, there's no shortcut like after throw this everything just dump in and boil. No, we have to go through every stage slowly to get a very good end result. Okay, so when we do some Indian cooking, the most first step, basic, is called tempering. Tempering means you make produce sounds. Like every time you put some spice, like a zzz, all the different sounds. And then we always fry our onion is brown and the tomatoes until it's very lembik, very soft. After this stage, right, you can actually keep it in the fridge and you can use it for many other curries. So you want to cook fish curry or anything, right? So what we do in Indian family, we cook all this, we cool it down. Sometimes we blend it into a paste and then keep it in the fridge. Then whenever we want to masak anything, we just take 2 tablespoons to it. It's like our sambal, but no chili here. So we after that add other different spices. So when you are buying prawns, it's important to look out for a few things. Number 1, the prawn and the head must be together. Number 2, both the fillers must be there. If there's one filler missing, don't buy that prawn. Okay. The fillers are the one that show whether the prawn is fresh or not, because when you lift out the prawn, the fillers can still hold the weight of the prawn. That means the prawn is very fresh. If one filler come out, that means it's semi-fresh. So that's how you find out. And then of course, when you enter a supermarket or the market, if it smells very, very prawny like a belacan, don't even buy there because it's awful prawns. So it has to be fresh prawns, means it shouldn't be smelling very, very like a prawn. Smell just nice. If it's very terrible smelling, then it's really rotting. Okay, yeah, that's all. Okay, in order to buy basmati rice, first you look at the packet of rice. The rice must look very brown, dirty looking. That is the best rice. That means it's a very old rice. When you cook the biryani, the rice will be very long and nice. If you buy a very clean white rice, it will become very soggy. Sometimes in the packet, right, they will say that aged for 2 years, aged for 3 years. So the more it's aged, it's better. So in this case, just like me, the older the better. Okay, so once the tomatoes are a bit soft, I'm going to add in this ginger and garlic. Now, ginger and garlic is such an important thing for Indian cuisine. Practically every dish we use ginger and garlic, and in an Indian home, we sometimes use as much as 1 kilo of garlic for cooking. And the reason is we believe that no matter how fatty you are eating, right, if you include your garlic and ginger in your diet, it actually sort of balances and helps to preserve your heart condition as well. So that's why it's always used in the cooking. And another reason is also when we cook curries, we can cook the curry today and eat it the next day without refrigeration. It helps to preserve. The ginger garlic helps to preserve the curry. It doesn't turn rancid. Once I add in the ginger garlic, I will add in the curry powder, add in the yogurt, about 100 ml, and I can add a bit of water too. You can add a bit of water, just stir all this to mix, and we will let this boil until it thickens, and then we add in the fish. So I'm going to just add in some salt. Okay, so we let that cook for a while. In the meanwhile, let's look at the rice. The rice is actually already cooked. You can see. So once the rice is cooked, what I can do is just remove some of the whole spices, and then what I'm going to do is something interesting. It might be interesting to some people. I've got yellow coloring here, so I've just pour a bit of yellow coloring here and there. Okay, and then we will leave the rice cooker or rice pot off. Now I use the word rice cooker because sometimes many of you don't want to cook rice in a pot, so you want to use a rice cooker. You follow the same principle and just turn on the rice cooker. Whenever I have a cooking class, I do not use rice cooker because I think people need to learn how to cook rice in a pot in case the rice cooker is not working. Okay, so the masala is dry. I'm not just cooking it until it's dry. I must cook it until the raw smell of the curry powder is gone. If it becomes very dry and then the raw powder still is raw, you add a bit of water and then you cook it. Now I'm going to add in the salmon pieces. Leave it aside for a while in the stove. The juice from the fish will come out, then it will become watery again. Then I will add in some of the pudina leaf and the coriander leaf here. When you turn the fish, you have to make sure that you do it gently, because if not the fish will start breaking. And salmon fish, when you are cooking, you only cook until 3/4 way. The center not cooked is okay, because when you stop cooking, the heat will cook the center, then the fish is nice. If not, it will be breaking up into many pieces. So for the rice, you need to fluff up. Then when you are fluffing up, you can actually take out like the cinnamon stick if you want, but keep the chili inside, because some people like to eat the chili. Now after fluffing, right, I'll just create some space there in the middle and I'll put in fish. So basically I'm like burying the fish inside. Add in all the rest to the top. Sprinkle the coriander leaf and everything. Fried cashew nuts, raisins and fried onion. This also can go on the top. But it's optional, not necessary. Okay, next I take a non-stick paper and cover the pot up. Just cover the rice and everything. And then turn on the stove to low. Okay, so I'm covering it with non-stick paper. There's a reason. Now if the pot is this big and your rice is only up to this level, when you cook it covered, right, so what will happen is there's so much space here and the steam will form and the water will backflow into the rice. Then the rice will become soggy. So what we do is we cover it with paper, so if there's any water, it will fall on the paper. Okay, for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then your fish should be cooked and nice. So after 10 minutes, or if you see a lot of steam coming out here, because you see a bit of steam, that means the heat has come through the rice to the top already, then you can switch off your stove and you can open the pot. So must be careful when you lift up this because there's water here. So you just fold it and take it out. And you can see the rice is steaming hot and yeah, it's ready for serving.
Wow, chef, it looks so delicious. Viewers, if you can smell the aroma, it is so, I don't know how to put it. You know, I can smell the curry, I can smell it's wonderful. You know, right now I'm just can't wait to try the dish. Salmon Briyani. I don't have to wait for a big wedding. Today I can have a sumptuous meal.
Definitely.
Yes, our Chef Devagi.
Okay, come let's eat.
Come, let's start in.
Tomato chutney. That's sweet and hot. Sweet and hot.
Yes, and these are all homemade, made by our chef, sambal belacan and the tomato chutney. And oh yes, later after our meals, we'll be having a special masala tea by our spice queen. Yes, and everything is so spicy from the food to the tea. Come, let's eat.